I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. And this is not I Am Savvy Mike TV. This is Savvy Reviews. I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. And well, this is my official review of episode 4 of season 5 of The Boys. Yes, this episode indeed is the episode where the boys and Homelander and Soldier Boy apparently decide to pull up to Fort Harmon for the V1. Yes, of course, as we saw in the last episode, Homelander has his hands on Stan Edgar now, and Lord knows where he put him. We didn't see him in this episode, so Lord knows where he got him tucked away, but clearly he got the information that he needed to get out of him. And so, of course, Stan Edgar told him about V1 possibly being at Fort Harmon. Now, Soldier Boy finds out about Homelander going to seek out some V1 because Sister Sage tells him. Now, we don't really know what her, point in everything is right now. Like, we don't know what's truly going on. Like, she's rarely in any episode. Like, she pops up for moments to kind of show her disdain of everything that Homelander wants to do now, like him wanting to be Jesus, I guess, or God, or both. I don't know. So she's like, you see it on her face. She's just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing, my nigga? So we don't know if she's like planning a turn or not at some point, and at some point will be helping the boys, or is she's finding a way to help them in whatever secret way she can. But regardless of it, she tells Soldier Boy that Homelander is about to pull up and get some V1 so he could be immortal. And so, knowing that Soldier Boy don't really fuck with Homelander, she basically tells him, and she's like, yeah, he hasn't left yet. And I guess Soldier Boy says, well, I'm tagging along. Now, they could have just flown there, but Soldier Boy's like, you're not picking me up, and you're my son, so you're walking with me. Which is kind of crazy how Homelander bends his will to Soldier Boy. Like, I was thinking about that while they were walking. I was like, Homelander could just go, fuck you, nigga, I'm just flying there and figuring out, and I'm going through the place in 2 seconds. Like, I don't need to walk with you. But we wouldn't get this fun like dialogue between Homelander and Soldier Boy, so I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind it. This episode definitely wasn't as good as the last 3. I'll say that much. It has a lot to do with pacing. Like, we take a detour, and it's a detour that, while I was a bit interested in, because it's just kind of like, who's Starlight father? Because you always seen her with her mother, but you never seen her dad around, and Lord knows you need both to make a kid. So we come to find out that her father's been estranged from her life for about 20 years now, and she just decides to pull up on him. And of course, they're Homelanders, or Trumpsters, or Homelander. And so, Homelander rounding up all the Starlights, and Starlight basically pulled up, and then they have a kid, which is her brother, and he's, of course, into Homelander and Vault and all this stuff. So he sees Starlight, thinks she's the enemy, thinks she's the problem, thinks she's the one that's causing the soups to die and all this extra shit. And so they have that little moment and whatnot. He snitches, he calls the cops, the cop pulls up, threatens to take the dad, and the dad has to have a moment of, this is my daughter, and basically has to stand up for her and says, I haven't been standing up for her these past 20 years, but I'm going to choose to now. Which is like, it's still a lot that needs to be done. It's like, still a lot of time you missed there. I don't know why Starlight is just so open. I guess she's like, this is the end of the world, so fuck it. Let me just be nice to him and see what his family life is like, and see what he's doing. Regardless of it, while it don't probably really matter to the overarching and overall story, it does feel a bit like, why are we even focusing on this when we have other things we could be focusing on, like what the boys and Soldier Boy and Homelander are up to. And why did she just leave him? Because she almost saw Huey die. Look, my thing is, I get Starlight is a woman, I guess, and she's leaning on her emotions and whatnot, but this is war. We're trying to take down the system. People will die, even the ones you love, unfortunately. So you just gotta look. Huey didn't die. Thank God. And just move on from it, right? And just hope and do everything you can to make sure you protect them. Like leaving them, what was that gonna do? Have them die at some other point, and then you're not there. Now you're mad at yourself because you could have been there. Didn't make sense to me last episode, but I let it rock because last episode was just that good. But now it's just kind of like, yeah, even here it's just like, so she left just to see her dad and to have this moment. It does feel like this was filler. This episode takes place in one spot where, of course, all of our main characters are. And while we have other dealings going on outside of it, like with the VP Ashley and her preacher boyfriend or husband, you know, they're dealing with how we're gonna present Homelander as God. So you got that going on, yeah, but most of the really interesting stuff is happening at Fort Harmon. And so they get there, all of them, right? And there's some weird shit going on. Like, they can't really put their foot on it, but Huey's like turning up. He calls Starlight a bitch. Everybody just look at him like, you good, my nigga? And he's just like, yeah, that came out of nowhere. And so it's getting weird. Everybody's getting very aggressive towards each other. And so Frenchie starts looking around and realizing that the V1 that was probably dumped into the soils and destroyed decades ago has probably mutated into this like spory zombie. And so it's just like a virus now, and anybody gets near it, it causes you to get angry and want to murder each other. And that's what it's doing to them right now. Basically a soup virus, which was cool. They akin it to something like The Last of Us, but Frenchie dismisses that idea and just goes, no, that's just Walking Dead with mushrooms. Pretty interesting. Still pretty meta, you know, of course, boys staying in that meta lane and world. But best way to describe what is kind of happening. So of course the boys are dealing with this, and then Homelander and Soldier Boy, they're getting super aggressive towards each other, just talking shit. Everybody's saying how they truly really feel about one another, and just all the anger that's been pent up and they've been pushing down. So it's all coming out, and so you get a moment where the boys literally start to try and kill each other, other than Frenchie. For some reason Frenchie's such a drug fiend that his neuroscience is already kind of tilted, so the spores couldn't get to him like it was getting to everybody else, because he kind of built an immunity to it in a sense, just off being a drug fiend. But everybody else that's sober, they're going at it. They're fucking each other up, Kamiko, everyone. And so at some point, I guess Soldier Boy's mind was, I can't kill this motherfucker. I can't impel him while I go find this V1. And so he basically, like, Homelander is he's getting more enraged and more aggressive from the spores, so he's not really paying attention. He's just going off and going back and forth with Soldier Boy, while Soldier Boy methodically in his head is just basically walking him to this trap. And so he traps Homelander. The radiation starts fucking with him, and he's like, look, this ain't gonna kill you. It should be like the flu. You'll be sick, you'll be pale, you should get out of here though. But while you're being you know, neutered at the moment, I'm gonna go find this V1 and destroy it all, because I fucking hate you. and that's still the dynamic between Soldier Boy and Homelander. So Soldier Boy, you know, he goes and looks for the V1, while the boys, they found what could have been where the V1 was, but apparently somebody either has already taken it or destroyed it, and they chalk it up to this one suit that is probably still alive. They just have to go find them, so that's their next destination, I guess. But as they figured that out, instead of going, okay, Homelander and Soldier Boy upstairs, let's get the fuck up out of here, these niggas got some shit to get off their chest, to the point where they want to kill each other. And it's all because of the spore. So Frenchie goes downstairs, figures out where the source of this thing is. Apparently he doesn't know how to really kill it, but in Soldier Boy seeing him, he leads Soldier Boy downstairs to the thing, and Soldier Boy recognizes that it's somebody from his past. Now, as you know, they are working on a prequel show for this series. They're also working on a sequel show for this series. So it's a lot of spinoffs for the boys in the works. They're going to do a Boys Mexico, and apparently they're going to do a VOT type show that was basically the origin of VOT, and Soldier Boy is going to be in it and whatnot. So I guess that's set up for this in a sense. And it's just like to take an episode to set up future shows, and then also like kind of detour to this path of Starlight and her dad, it did feel a bit like filler. And this is the last season and you only got 8 episodes to wrap this story up. While the Fort Harmony stuff is good and you should keep it and have the little Easter egg for Vault Rising, the new show you're doing, do all that, but Starlight and her dad, you can cut that out. Use that moment in time to develop Firecracker more and see where her side of everything is. Sister Sage, and kind of still hint to that, like get into other bags. You feel me? And that was just my overall criticism of this episode. Regardless of it, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed seeing the dialogue between everyone and all them crashing out on each other, and Soldier Boy trapping Homelander was pretty fun, and Homelander trying to be a god and Jesus now, and anybody who doesn't submit to his will can just perish and die, which is, I think, the plan in his head. It's all interesting stuff, and it's all still good setup to where I believe the next half of the season is really going to be focused on, because this ends with Homelander presenting himself to the church as God, and I guess this is everything that he wanted. I don't know. We're going to see. Still haven't found that V1 though, but of course Homelander, I'm sure he has a plan. But regardless of it, like I said, still an enjoyable episode of The Boys. Like, I didn't mind it. I wasn't mad or upset at the Starlight stuff. Like, the Starlight stuff was pretty interesting, but it did feel like a detour that wasn't needed. And I know I keep saying that, but I just have to harp on the fact that that's really the only criticisms I truly have. Like I said, and I wish we would have took that time instead of focusing on that with her and what's going on with her dad and the town that he's in and the son. Let's focus on other things. Where did Ryan go? Ryan just dipped off on Butcher. He said, "Fuck you, I'm out." And where did he go? Like, we're in the last stretch of this. We don't have time for filler. We just don't. Either way, that's how I feel though. Still give it a fire. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I'm Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. Peace.